Hello, friends. We are back again. We are starting Unit National Income, Chapter 2 of Class 12th of Macroeconomics. In this topic, the topic is classification of good and it is very important for the board examination. The classification of good is divided into two categories. One is final goods, intermediate goods, and second category consumer goods and capital goods. In this, the board examination, the question is come. We have given 4 or 5 statements, and you have to classify whether it is final good or intermediate goods, or whether it is consumer good or capital goods. So, let me start. The first category. The first one, final goods. As the name suggests, final. Final goods are those goods which cross the boundary line of production. And the second reason, the final goods are those which are ready to use by the final users. ऐसे गुड्स जो बाउंड्री लाइन ऑफ प्रोडक्शन को क्रॉस कर चुके हैं और ऐसे गुड्स विच आर रेडी टू यूज बाय देयर फाइनल यूजर्स. अब फाइनल यूजर्स सिर्फ कंज्यूमर नहीं होते हैं. फाइनल यूजर्स आर कंज्यूमर एंड प्रोड्यूसर बोथ. When the consumer uses the goods, it called consumption expenditure. And when the producer uses the goods, it's called investment expenditure. So, final goods are always added in the national income. There are three main important points which you classify the final goods, the goods which cross the boundary line of production, which are ready to use by their final users, and the goods which are added in the national income is called final goods. Okay, now second category is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those goods which not cross the boundary line of production, which is not ready to use by final users, or those goods which use as a raw material or resale purpose. Those goods are intermediate goods, and intermediate goods are not added in the national income. For example, milk. I will give you example by the help of milk to categorize whether it is a final goods and whether it is a intermediate good. When milk is used by consumer, is called final goods, and when milk is purchased by producer and resale, then it is called intermediate goods. I hope the classification of goods of first category will be clear. Thank you for the day 3.